Hey everybody, welcome to this week's social emotional learning lesson. Today we are continuing to talk about and celebrate Black history. This lesson is for 3rd through 5th graders, so if you are kindergarten through 2nd grade, there is a separate lesson for you. If you are 3rd through 5th grade, stay here, this is your lesson for this week. Here is our plan for today. I'm going to do things a little bit differently today just because I think it will make more sense moving forward. So first, we are going to go over what our assignment for this week is going to be that you are going to post on Canvas. After that, we are going to watch the inaugural poem by Amanda Gorman, and that's going to help you understand your assignment. As you're watching it, we're going to reflect on certain feelings, both for you and for the poet. And then there's also a bonus lesson that if you are interested in, you can go to after we complete this lesson. Here is your assignment that I want you to reflect on as you are watching the video we are going to watch. I would like for you to pick at least one of these activities and submit it to Canvas. The first option is to draw a picture of Amanda Gorman, who is the poet we're going to be watching today, and give her a thought bubble above her head. In the thought bubble, share what you believe she is thinking while she performs her poem. The second option for your activity this week is to use inspiration from Amanda and write your own poem. Be sure to include describing words and feeling words. If after we watch this lesson, you want to go back and review the assignment, you can always just rewind so that you can rewatch this slide. Or if you would like to pause here and take some notes on what the assignment is, you can do that as well. While we listen and watch this video, I want you to consider some fun facts that I found about Amanda Gorman, who is pictured here in the bottom right corner. She was actually selected by First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, who listened to her poetry and really advocated for her to get to perform the inaugural poem, which is a very, very prestigious, very important role that Amanda got to have. Amanda is in her early 20s. She is very young, and so she is so young but so successful to have been on TV having her amazing poem broadcasted. And Amanda wants to run for president one day. I believe 2036 is the year she is first eligible to become president. So she is dreaming big and she is on her way. Another really neat fact about Amanda is that she has a speech impediment. That means that she has trouble speaking sometimes. And so because of physical barriers, she has to work really hard to be able to pronounce her words and to be able to have her brain and her mouth talking correctly to each other so that she can say what she wants to say. She rehearses and she practices. She also did speech therapy when she was younger. And so she was able to overcome this barrier during her performance. As you listen to this video, do you think Amanda is feeling any of these emotions? Joy, nervousness, hope, fear, inspiration? I also want you to consider what other emotions she might be feeling and what emotions you might be feeling as you listen to her poem. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Wow, what did you all think? As I was watching this, I noticed that she showed emotion. And that's an important part of poetry, because poetry is really a reflection of feelings. What are some of the emotions that you noticed? What are some of the emotions that you felt within your heart? It's really, really amazing poem. I'm so glad that she was chosen to give that performance. So as a reminder, for this week, I'd like for you to complete your assignment and submit it to Canvas. You can rewind to get all of the details, but your two options were the thought bubble and then the poem that you write yourself. Okay, so make sure that you complete at least one of those and get them submitted to Canvas. I cannot wait to see your work. I also created a bonus lesson for this week that goes over some amazing people who did amazing things in celebrating Black history. So if you would like to go watch that bonus lesson, you can do that as well. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out. I can't wait to see all of your work on Canvas, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.